Southern Tribal International Global Merchandise. Renee and Hanna from Special Olympics North America region return on the podcast to give our take on the SONA Move Challenge, an 8-week virtual exercise program, episode 438 of the Special Chronicles Show starts right now on SpecialChronicles.com. The mission of how I started podcasting Special Chronicles is giving respect and voice to those of us with special needs. I became an athlete of Special Olympics Illinois, and when I recorded the audio that I was given and putting those up as podcasts, I soon received messages of encouragement, and I learned that was a powerful platform and really helping to make a difference in people's lives. 12 years ago, I didn't expect that anybody would want to even listen to me. We have over 42,316 listeners per month. It's a humbling experience. I'm really grateful to make a difference in other people's lives.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Podcasting since 2008. This is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to find and joy, acceptance, and inclusion.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome back to the Special Chronicles Show. My name is Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and the Southern Tribal International Global Messenger, the Special Olympics North America, I should say. Welcome back. So excited to be back behind the microphone, and so glad to have you all joining us. We'll pre-recording this episode, but again, it's a podcast, so you guys, it doesn't really matter when we record, because you guys are going to listen to this anytime. But so excited to welcome two guests on the show this week as we bring you our take. Me and my fellow SO North America SSI GMs, Renee and Hanna, are joining the program again as we talk about the SONA Move Challenge. But right off the bat, we're going to get a few housekeeping things out of the way. And that is first to let you know that the Special Chronicles Show is presented by the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. I've got it here somewhere. Learn more about the nation's first energy efficiency education program taught by people with disabilities, including video resources, an original podcast series of 12 parts, and external resources links at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. And help us fund our weekly podcasts and live stream shows on Special Chronicles so we can continue to tell empowering stories behind the microphone to further our mission and vision, give respect and voice to people with special needs. It really goes a long way to keep the lights on so we can continue to tell stories like my story and our guest stories like Renee's and Hannah's and so many other voices and stories. SpecialChronicles.com/give is where you can make a gift. And speaking of making a gift, at the $250 gift level to this podcast, if you don't donate $250 to Special Chronicles, Tim Shriver will send you a free autographed copy of his new book, The Call to Unite Voices of Hope and Awakening. Text GIVE to 50 to 833-953-2598 or donate online at specialchronicles.com/give. Once again, donate $250 and all the ways to donate are in the show notes in the description below. And specialchronicles.com is where to follow us on social media. And newsletter and podcasts and all that, go to specialchronicles.com. And with that, so excited to please put your virtual hands together. Someday we'll have to do a podcast, all three of us in person. Someday, maybe sooner. Well, we won't share that news. Some behind the scenes stuff, but with that, please put your virtual. And I'm just going to go by the squares that I have on the of when who popped on first onto the StreamYard. But please put your virtual hands together as we welcome our good friends Renee from Special Olympics Hawaii. Hi, Renee. And our fellow SSIGM Hanna from Colorado. And you guys are both muted. You guys are both muted. And just imagine our virtual audience all applauding for you both. You can just imagine our virtual audience applauding for you on the show. Right? Ooh. They're still muted.
Absolutely. Sorry, Daniel. Aloha, everyone.
Hey, guys. Welcome.
A little difficulty with the microphone, but it's been a while since you guys have been on. I think the last time we did a podcast together was, well, we're recording this in June. People are going to hear this beginning of August. So, but last time you guys, so it's just weird science fiction thing. We're recording this in June. People will hear this podcast at the beginning of August. But the last time that we recorded was in the beginning of the year, I think. 2021. I don't know, January, February.
Yes.
I forgot the exact time. Oh, episode number. But the episode was titled we talked about dealing with intolerance. And now we're having you both on again because we both took part in the spring from the middle of March to the middle of May. So 8 weeks of the SONA Move Challenge. So first, let's have you both reintroduce yourself to our listeners and tell us about listeners heard you guys both on that episode dealing with intolerance. They heard you both on our health series. Renee, they heard you on when you shared your self-advocacy story. Hanna, they heard you a while ago when you shared your story, 6 months before we became. I think we both applied at the same time. We probably all applied at the same time. So, but for any new listeners, why don't you both reintroduce yourself to our listeners? We'll go from the west to the east. So we'll go with Renee, Hanna, and then, well, I already introduced myself since I'm the host, but we'll go from the west to the east. So, Renee, you want to reintroduce yourself to our listeners?
Absolutely. Aloha, everyone. My name is Renee Manfredi. I am a Special Olympics pilot from the island of Hawaii, or from the state of Hawaii on the island of Oahu. I am a global messenger, a health messenger, and a Sergeant Shriver International Global Messenger and SOHI staff member. It's such a privilege to be back here on the Special Chronicles again. Mahalo, Daniel.
Awesome. And Hanna, you want to reintroduce yourself to our listeners?
Totally. So, hey, everybody. My name is Hanna Joy Atkinson. I'm a health messenger in Special Olympics of Colorado. I'm also a Sergeant Shriver International Global Messenger, along with Daniel and Renee, and it's an honor and a privilege both to be back on the Special Chronicles show. So way to go, Daniel, and thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. It's always as a SSIGM family, it's always good to have our fellow SSIGMs on, and maybe when we're all in Kazan, we'll have to I can get my camera guy, Chris, my mentor, to maybe film us, and maybe we can all do a podcast together. Maybe we'll have to talk to Emily and see if we can all do a little podcast together if we have time. And so let's now get into the SONA Move, the main topic for this episode, which is about the SONA Move Challenge. And we want I don't know who wants to go first, but we can give our listeners an overview of what the SONA Move Challenge is. Who who wants to take that first pout and telling our listeners what the SONA Move Challenge is about?
Hanna, how about you?
Yeah, Hanna.
Yeah, sounds good. So we started it in 2021. My bad with the dates here, you guys. But yeah, it started in 2021. It was a eight-week challenge. So what that means is that I won't say chronicled, but we made a diary entry based of our experiences through the SONA Move Challenge. So we created a team called the SONA Movers and Changemakers. And it was a group collaboration. And so the team that we have is me, Daniel, and Renee, and many other SONA Move staff members too, like I think Rachel. Who else is part of our team, Daniel, that you can remember?
I think Taylor Baker that we work with within our region, and
Yes.
I forgot who else. Renee, I think those
A fellow athlete of mine, actually a fellow teammate, her name is Rel Romero.
Awesome. So, and I think in each week we all updated the we all submitted the minutes that we exercised each week from Monday through Sunday. And I think all SONA unified SONA staff team, SONA Movers and Changemakers, was among the top 10, I think, each week. I don't know if you guys looked at that as well, but I think we were among the top 10.
10 and 11.
10 and 11, yeah. So yeah, I was hoping that we could get in the top 3 or 5, but top 10 or 11 is good too. So what maybe we can all share why we all participated in the SONA Move Challenge. Hanna, do you want to go first, and then we'll go to Renee, and then I'll go last?
Sure. So the reason why I wanted to be a part of this is because I'm very passionate. My life has been exercise driven, with the athletics that I do, like with cycling and skiing. I'm training up right now for my bike racing season, which will be happening, I believe, this summer. I don't know when this summer, but it's going to happen this summer. So I've been training through the 8 weeks of this SONA Move Challenge up to, my cycling season, which is very exciting, by the way, guys. So good luck on, all that great stuff right there. But overall, I just like to be part of a good team, and I think that Daniel and Renee were the best teammates, and I like to encourage them, and I bet they would like to encourage us too. So that's particularly why I like to do what I do, because, I'm very passionate, and it helps with our health, which is also very important. So please remember that.
Awesome. And Renee, why you participated?
Well, like Hanna said, I too am passionate about keeping in shape, keeping fit. As a Special Olympics athlete, it's our job to keep exercising, keep moving. And I saw this as an opportunity for all of us in the US or SONA to be connected. This is such a cool way for not just those of us like on the continental US, but in Hawaii, in Canada, for all of us to form one big team. I mean, it was literally SONA. We had you, Daniel, from Illinois, you, Hanna, from Colorado, you, Daniel, from Illinois, me from Hawaii. We had plenty of the SOI staff from Virginia to Connecticut. It was just incredible. And like Hanna also said, it's a great opportunity to keep track of our exercises, especially during this difficult time of COVID. What a great way for all of us to stay connected.
Yeah, absolutely. And to continue on with, I definitely agree with both of you on your reasons of why I participate in it. And in addition to those reasons of encouraging each other and really joining with our other uh, for athletes and unified partners across the U.S. and Canada and the Caribbean. But as we all know, in the past year, since our regular sports training and competition will either ceased or slowed, or in other words, really changed from the norm of what we were used to, I wanted to participate in the SONA Move Challenge because it really came at a time to help myself and you, Renee, and Hanna, and everybody across our North America region to really actively think and get moving. And one could turn to any streaming television show or series or film or movie, but it really got us to kind of get out of our seats or couches and actively moving. And on that note, we kind of told our listeners a little bit about what I forgot who said it, but the name we will, so the unified team that we were on was 3 SSIGMs. We had a couple of SONA staff, a couple of other athletes, so it was a unified team. And SONA Movers, and I guess we came up with the name because it was a SONA Move Challenge. So we were SONA Movers because we were actively moving, and we were moving society as a change maker. We were actively moving, both physically, but also moving and changing society, that we can actively move, and that we'll get to at the end of the program. And I think I told you guys what a final question at the end of the episode that we'll get to usually is talks about what does inclusion mean to you. But at the end of the episode, and maybe just keep this in the back of your mind throughout the episode, but in the end of the episode, we're going to all share what does inclusive health mean to us. And I think this unified team really showed people, showed doctors, showed the mainstream community that as we are moving, as we are SONA movers and change makers, we are actively moving and changing society to really think, to actively move and actively change perspectives to make inclusive health the norm, and just to make inclusive health a way of life. You guys want to comment on that? Anybody want to?
That's actually a really good point, Daniel.
Yeah.
I would say the same. I like to be healthy regardless, because there's so much I want to do. And one of the things that I always wanted to do is to try to do the impossible. I can't do that without having a healthy mind and a healthy body. So with a healthy mind and a healthy body, it will help me to do the impossible.
Yeah. Well, and to that point, the fact that we had a unified team, not only did we have our family and friends cheering us on, but we were, as a unified team mates, we were able to cheer each other on. I mean, yes, it was virtual, but we were able to, both through email, through WhatsApp, we were able to cheer each other on, and also just through social media, through Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, we were able to, or LinkedIn, we were able to kind of cheer each other on. We're going to go ahead in just a few minutes from now, I'm going to take a short sponsor break, because if it wasn't for our supporters, we wouldn't be able to be behind the microphone and bringing you this podcast and bringing you our take on the SONA Move Challenge. When we come back, we will get to Renee's take on the SONA Move Challenge right after the break. You are listening to the Special Chronicles Show right here on SpecialChronicles.com. I'm Daniel, joined with Renee and Hanna. We'll be right back. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly, candid, honest, and inspiring conversations about the people with disabilities community that creates awareness, support, and advocacy within each week's episode. Listeners tell us our shows are an enjoyable and necessary podcast for the intellectual and developmental disability community and everyone else who is able to listen to stories about life from a different angle. Please, if you and your family love our weekly podcast, make a one-time, monthly, or annual gift of thanks today. Support this podcast at SpecialChronicles.com/give. That's SpecialChronicles.com/give. Our guests on the Special Chronicles show this week are my good friends and colleagues and fellow SSIGMs, Renee calling in from Hawaii and Hanna calling in from Colorado. And we are giving you on this episode, we are giving you our take on the SONA Move Challenge. Again, we'll put links, and I have to actually remember to actually put links, but we're going to put links in the show notes to all SSIGM blogs that you can find on SONA on SONorthamerica.medium.com. SONorthamerica.medium.com is where you can read our bi-monthly blogs every couple of months. I think I don't know how often we write these, but we'll put links to our particular SONA Move diary from SONA Movers and Changemakers, all blogs in the show notes if you want to read about our take on the SONA Move Challenge in addition to listening. But now we're going to have Renee take over and give us her take on the SONA Move Challenge.
Well, thank you, Daniel. My take on the SONA Move Challenge was that, as I mentioned earlier, it was a great way for all of us in SONA to connect during this time of COVID. And I really enjoyed it because not only was it a great way to stay active, but also a great way to be creative. Every week there was a different theme. For example, the SONA Move Challenge actually started in March, so that led up to St. Patrick's Day, so we had a Green Day. There's a picture of me on my blog wearing a Luck of the Irish shirt. And during that time, there was a tie-dye theme, and I could actually go back to the SOHI office, Special Olympics Hawaii office, and work again as a staff member. And our Holo Holo, which means let's go walking in Hawaiian, our Holo Holo walking club started up. So there was just so many things for us to do. And I am a swimmer for Special Olympics Hawaii. So we took the opportunity to use our rec center here in our neighborhood. I swim every day. I started using some water weights. We were actually in the middle of our virtual physical fitness spring state competition. We were practicing up for that. I competed in the reverse crunch, the modified reverse crunches, modified side hops, and modified push-ups, and won 3 gold medals in all 3 events. This was just, so we could be creative in just about anything. So
Awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and in just about a few minutes from now take another break, and then we'll get to Hannah's take on the SONA Move Challenge. But I loved what you said, Renee, about how this SONA Move Challenge helped us to really get creative in not just the regular, and after Renee's we'll get to mine, and listeners might see how basic I got. Probably could have gotten a little bit more creative, but I loved what you said about how this, and even beyond the 8 weeks, now we'll pass the 8 weeks on a Move Challenge, but we can really actively get more creative in how we are exercising, how we are moving. When we come back from the break, we'll get to Hannah's take on the SONA Move Challenge. You're listening to the Special Chronicles Show right here on SpecialChronicles.com. We'll be right back. Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and really is powering us here at Special Chronicles to keep the lights on and our technology is powered on. As ComEd powers the lives of us, they're literally giving a voice to people with special needs. We thank ComEd for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. Our guests on the Special Chronicles show this week are fellow SSIGMs, Renee calling in from Hawaii and Hanna calling in from Colorado. And we're giving you this week all take on the SONA Move challenge. Hashtag SONA Move is if you want to look up on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter and find out what different people will, in addition to us, will doing. But now this is the point of the episode where Hanna, in the next few minutes, we'll have you now take over and give us your take on the SONA Move challenge.
Of course. Thank you, Daniel, for that. So my take on the SONA Move challenge is that it was top notch for our team to come together. I would say yes, it's definitely a connector, that's for sure. So that is one part of the joy that comes right there, is to be connected to your teammates like that. So that's awesome. So as you read my blog, I said it was top notch. Not just that, but I also did a lot of exercises too, like different types of exercises. Like for one, I did like still climbing as one of them, yard walk, dancing, and I definitely did say still climbing, hiking, cardio boxing, walking and running. I did a variety of workouts. I would definitely highlight all the ones I just said about the yard walk, walking and running, and dancing and the elliptical and yoga. And why not? Because I love to do yoga. That kind of helps me be flexible with whatever my day is going to be. I have like a set workout schedule in which I made myself, which is very joyful. You can see that on the weeks that I have done my blog. So that is another shout out for that. And the other thing that I also put down in my blog is tips on how to live your life well and just to be healthy in general. I have 7 tips that I recommended. And so I recommend to, get started with that. So one of the things that I have been doing is every single day is a decision chart. And so that really helps me pick and choose what seems to be the right choices at the right time during the day. So I set my attention for the day by making a decision chart. It's really simple. And so if we go back to the blog, you would just see pictures of me of doing push-ups, jumping jacks, a little bit of the Fit 5 guide that Special Olympics provided. So I have done that. I also did some, I believe, sit-ups too. So just, keep reading my the blogs and see the tips and the points on that. And then the last thing I would definitely say is that I gave a shout out to my mom because, my exercise buddy is definitely my mother. She helps me to stay focused on my workouts because she does. I work out with her because it makes me happy. And when I am happy, I'm happy of what I got done for the day. And it helps with my attitude. Exercise helps with my attitude. And so when I exercise, I feel more me. I feel more relaxed. I feel like I'm my best self to make a difference. And I can do something for myself, like exercise. So how about you guys? challenge yourself and do some exercise for yourselves. I recommend that.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely want to encourage all of our listeners. We'll applaud that. And we definitely want to remind all listeners, go check out Hanna's blog. In addition to Renee's and mine, sonorthamerica.medium.com. The links to our blogs will be in the show notes on specialchronicles.com/podcast438 for this episode, specialchronicles.com/podcast438. And we definitely want to encourage you all, depending on if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, so leave us a comment on our Instagram or Twitter. Just go to or on our Facebook. Just go to Special Chronicles, and you can find all of our social media links there. And leave us a comment on our social media or on the YouTube or Facebook video for this episode. And leave us a comment and let us know what are you doing to get moving and to take part in the SONA Move Challenge beyond this 8-week challenge. So we want to challenge you all. Now,
Daniel, can I just say, sorry to interrupt.
No.
That, speaking of a challenge, our very own Iron Man, Nick Nickett, actually virtually came to Hawaii and had a virtual workout for the So-High athletes. It was so incredible. He really worked us to the bone, and that's a real challenge.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, great. Yeah, great way to so look to people like Chris, Nico, and others like him that where you can whether you invite him virtually or in person, or look to that example to how you can really take the challenge of it. It doesn't have to be a SONA Move challenge, but take the challenge of where your exercise and movement is right now, and just take it up to the next level and really challenge yourself. It's not just about the SONA Move challenge, but it's really about challenging yourself to get moving. And as we really all in this inclusive health movement together. We're going to go ahead and before we get to my take, we're going to go ahead and take another break right here on the Special Chronicles show. So when we come back, we'll get to my take on the SONA Move Challenge right here on SpecialChronicles.com. We will be right back right here on SpecialChronicles.com. I'm trying to click the button here and find where I have the next the information on. Oh, there we go. Found it. So this episode is brought to you by StreamYard. StreamYard is what we use at Special Chronicles to live stream and to produce our live shows. Like if you're watching us right now on our YouTube or Facebook, StreamYard is the easiest way to create professional live streams. StreamYard is a live streaming studio in your browser. Interview guests, share your screen, and much more. Stream directly to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and other platforms. To sign up for StreamYard using our StreamYard referral link, you can do so at SpecialChronicles.com/StreamYard tutorial. That's all one word. Once again, that's SpecialChronicles.com/StreamYard tutorial. That's SpecialChronicles.com/StreamYard tutorial. The link will be in the show notes. SpecialChronicles.com/StreamYard tutorial. We highly recommend that you check out, and you will get. I don't have this in the copy that I have here, but you will get, I believe, $10 in credit if you sign up with our referral link. So SpecialChronicles.com/StreamYard tutorial, where you can sign up for StreamYard, and we highly recommend. We'll pre-recording this episode right now, but you can also live stream directly to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and other platforms, all and have your logo and banners and play video clips and share your screen and all that, and even have giveaways. SpecialChronicles.com/streamyard tutorial is where you can go. And with that, we're back right here on the Special Chronicles Show. Joining me again is, on this episode 438, is good friends and SSIGM colleagues Renee calling in from Hawaii and Hanna calling in from Colorado. And now we'll get to my take on the SONA Move Challenge. And that is to share with you all that I would have wanted to get a little bit more creative, like what Renee was talking about, and ready to try either doing some yoga or going on cycling rides, or perhaps some of the School of Strength or the Fit 5 exercises. But instead, I went on daily walks, and so I would have wanted to do that. And if I put a little bit more thought into it, which I did put thought into these daily walks and really taking it to not just simple 5-minute walks around the block. I didn't do that because that was too simple. And I wanted to really challenge myself and get more creative in the daily walks and take it up to another level. So what I did was I challenged myself to, I would put my earbuds in, listen to podcasts, and really go on walks that were 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or with my girlfriend when we went and walked in DC, we would walk around DC. We would take our daily walks to more to 5 hours. And that's really where if you went on a simple daily walk, it would be, you might not actively sweat or get movement, but the way to take the daily walk and take it up and really challenge yourself where you could actively move at a more active pace is to take it a little longer and go for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours if you want. And that's what I was able to do. So I took what could be an occasional, well, I should say what was not a 5-minute or 30-minute walk, but I mean, yes, I may have, if there was a day where I was super busy and could only fit 30 minutes, I was fine. But for the most part, during the 8 weeks, I really took those daily walks up to, and really challenged myself to go longer, like anywhere from 1, 2, 3, 5 hours. And that really, after going on those longer daily walks, really helps to really got me to kind of rethink rethink the whole idea of a daily walk into a whole new mindset of the daily walk. So that's when we summarize my take on the SONA Move Challenge, that's kind of the direction that I took it. And again, if people want to read all of our blogs, they can go to somewhere I've got it here. There we go. SONorthamerica.medium.com. SONorthamerica.medium.com. But kind of going off there of what I said, and I'll let you, Renee and Hanna, comment. Going off of that, we each kind of just a few points we could maybe kind of if we were to summarize each of our takes. Renee, you talked about getting more creative in your take of the SONA Move Challenge. Hanna, you talked about being a connector and taking and having a decision chart and having these 7 tips. And then I talked about taking these daily walks up to a new challenge and really challenging myself to go taking it to a new level. So from whether it was taking daily walks to a new challenge, whether it's having a decision chart and really focusing on 7 tips, or Renee with getting more creative, we each had 3 different takes of the SONA Move Challenge? And do you guys kind of want to comment how we were all able to not do the same SONA Move Challenge? We all able to take 3 different takes to that SONA Move Challenge. Do you guys want to comment on that?
Sure, I can go first, if you don't mind, Renee. So one of my points in the 7 tips that I recommended is don't force yourself to do more than you want in your exercises. That's one of the points that I made. It kind of aligns with like the choices that I make throughout the day. Like it's more than just like just my everyday choices that I do every day, which is very good, by the way. So make good choices. Listen to your parents because that also helps. But I also want to point out is that I also did it with a group of friends too. I also did, there's a picture of me with a friend of mine, and we did Zumba together. And so I really love to dance and anything that's active. So if you want to do an exercise, do it in a group of people that you want to exercise with. And I bet they would like to exercise with you, because I exercise with a group on Sundays. So this afternoon, I'll be doing the Special Tweets cards workout. So that's a lot of fun, and we do a lot of variety of things. So we make up our own like exercises. So one of the exercises that we have been doing is either planks, push-ups, wall sits. I recommended wall sits, by the way. But anyways, yeah, that's particularly what we do on Sunday afternoons for Special Tweets cards. It's a non-profit, and we do workouts on Sunday afternoons, and I'm gonna attend today. So we are doing push-ups, planks, wall sits, and whatever the other people in my Special Tweets cards group, I view them as my family too. I just wanted to mention that now before I forget. But overall, that is a good way to stay connected.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah. Renee, did you want to comment on how we all had, again, 3 different takes, and people can go to our listeners can go to sonorthamerica.medium.com. We'll put links to our individual blogs on specialchronicles.com/podcast438. But how, Renee, did you want to comment on how we all had 3 different takes on the SONA Move Challenge, from your creative approach, Hannah's connector approach, and then my daily walk up a notch take, if that makes sense? Did you want to?
Yeah, yes, to add to what Hannah had to say, in creativity, So High actually created a virtual fitness program for us to follow. Every Friday, we would have a Friday dance with a different theme. Tuesday, we would have a virtual workout. Wednesdays would be an exercise. And throughout the week, we would do different types of exercises. But I think the most important thing is, like Hannah said, getting to exercise with your friends. I think that's so important, especially during this time of COVID, because as humans, it's essential for us to stay connected, and that's what we need. But in doing so, with all the exercises that I try to do, I always try to encourage my fellow athletes to get moving. You know, even just a simple arm raise is better than just doing nothing.
Yeah.
And I try to I lead an exercise every Tuesday, and I try to be as creative as I can, because some of my friends are wheelchair bound and they can't really move like we can. So I try to modify it as simple as possible. Like with weightlifting, you know, if you don't have hand weights, you can use cans or water bottles, or just a simple twist, arm circles, something, anything to help them or let them know that you can move too.
Awesome. Yeah.
Our body. It's our body, and we should take charge. And one of the tips, Hanna mentioned her tips. One of the tips that I mentioned was something I learned as a health messenger. Is while it's great to work your body, it's also important to get sleep. Your body needs rest. 8 hours of sleep is recommended. So that way you're well rested and you're ready to do it all over again. Because it's your body and it's your choice. If you want to have a good, healthy body, you need to take care of it. But like I said, it's up to you.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned at the end, in addition to the tips that Hanna mentioned, that you get in sleep and get in what we recommend 8 hours of sleep is really, I know I try to do that as well, and really that really helps to not only get physically in shape, but get mentally in shape as well. I know, I think Hanna, we did that Abu Dhabi Daily show episode about strong minds when we were at the World Games, and that's definitely a great to mention. We are going to take our final sponsor break. When we come back, we will get to our final thoughts, and that question we told our listeners at the top of the episode, which was about talking about what does inclusive health mean to them, but and final thoughts and plugs are at the end of the episode. But we really want to challenge you all to take everything that Renee and Hanna and I, that take everything that the tips that we gave you, and hopefully that will encourage you to challenge yourself to get moving and to take the SONA Move Challenge. And now that the official SONA Move Challenge is past us, maybe all you listeners can kind of take it upon yourself and kind of make your own SONA Move Challenge. Make your own exercise 8-week challenge for yourself. It doesn't have to be an official with your Special Olympics program, but it can be your own, right? Did you guys, either Hanna or Renee, want to comment on that? On how our listeners can like going beyond our SONA Move Challenge regional 8-week program, but really taking it upon themselves as a personal 8-week or whatever length of time they want exercise challenge?
So I decided throughout the day is I choose to exercise every day for as long as my body will be capable of doing, and to also remember to hydrate as well, because that's also very important. And one of the things that I also mentioned in the tips below in my blog is to wear sunscreen. And we apply sunscreen too, especially if you are in winter or if you are in summer or spring or fall, whatever season you may be. Remember to wear sunscreen and we apply sunscreen. So if you read the blogs and read the tips that we are providing you, then you will be a successful health person yourself. So please consider, being healthy and looking at us as examples to help you provide what you need.
Yeah. Look to all blogs. We'll put links in the show notes to sonorthamerica.medium.com, and go check out our SONA Move Challenge blogs and hear our tips. Hear the tips that Renee mentioned, like putting on sunscreen and we applying the sunscreen, and tips like Renee mentioned about getting sleep and 8 hours of sleep, and my tips about taking the daily walks up a level. Awesome tips. We're going to go ahead and take our next. Renee?
To add to what Hanna said, I really agree about applying the sunscreen. Here in Hawaii, we literally live with it.
Yeah.
But I also like Hanna's daily planner. I too use it not just for exercise, but for every other activity that I do. And for my mental health as well, it's really important that we not only physically stay active, but mentally as well, especially during this time of COVID. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I love that daily planner idea as well. We're going to go ahead and take our last sponsor break. When we come back, we'll get to some final wrap-up thoughts and what inclusive health. So when we take this next two-minute break, think to yourself, what does inclusive health mean to you? And all of you listeners can do so as well. Even though you physically can't call into the show, you can leave us your comments on our Instagram or Twitter or Facebook pages or on the comments of this YouTube or Facebook video. So we'll be back. You're listening to the Special Chronicles Show. Our guests on the show this week are Renee and Hanna. We'll get back with some quick final thoughts in answering the question, what does inclusive health mean to all of us, after the break right here on the Special Chronicles Show on SpecialChronicles.com. Don't hit pause. We'll be right back after the break right here.
Hi, my name is Lisa Noble, and I'm a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and an athlete with Special Olympics Illinois.
Hi, my name is Daniel Smrokowski, and I also am a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and founder of a company called Special Chronicles.
The ComEd Energy Force program is a program that hires people with disabilities to teach the public how to save energy and money.
It's the country's first energy efficiency program of its kind.
Saving energy is especially important while everyone is at home due to COVID-19. We're using more electricity than ever before. Just think about how many more times you are opening the refrigerator door these days.
And while the economy is stressed, it's more critical than ever to save money where we can. Following these tips can save energy and money in this time of COVID-19.
Wash your clothes in cold water and use the dryer sparingly.
Your dryer can take up to 7 times more energy than the washer.
Turn off and unplug any electrical devices or power strips you are not using.
Electrical devices can continue to zap power even when turned off if they're still plugged in. We call them vampire devices.
Use LED bulbs.
They use 25% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last up to 25 times longer, saving you lots of money over time.
Keep your refrigerator between 35 and 38 degrees.
And be sure to use Energy Star appliances.
And last but not least, check out ComEd.com/home savings for more tips and rebates.
Lisa and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to us today.
Remember, we are all in this together.
Stay healthy.
And stay safe.
Bye. We're back. You are listening to the Special Chronicles Show right here on SpecialChronicles.com, the groundbreaking podcast network platform that we're giving respect and voice to those of us with special needs. Our guests on the program are my friends and the colleagues for us as GMs, Renee calling in from Hawaii, Hanna calling in from Colorado. I'm Daniel in the studio in Illinois. I was going to say calling in, but in the studio in Illinois. You guys all get the idea. What? No, I don't know if the host actually calls in. Broadcasting from Illinois. Yeah, you guys get the idea. We have just a few minutes left of the show, so we're going to kind of try to run through the whole wrap up at the end. But first, we'll get to a final question. Usually, talk about what does inclusion mean to you, but we're going to get to what does inclusive health mean to you? You guys can search for hashtag inclusive health on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. But we'll go around the virtual table, Renee and then Hanna, and then I'll give my final thoughts. Just brief. Again, we have just 5 minutes left, so we'll maybe try to keep it to less than a minute. Just really brief, maybe 30 seconds or so. What does inclusive health mean to you? And listeners, you can comment and share us your thoughts as well. But Renee, what does inclusive health mean to you?
That's a really good question, Daniel. As a health messenger, I've come to realize that what inclusive health means to me, particularly with the medical care profession, is that they are listening to you. doctors are actually taking the time to hear about your concerns and what you need. They are not trying to rush you out the door because of their busy schedule. They're actually just listening and learning as much as they can about you. And look, you're trying to see past the disability because you never know what's wrong. There is something called diagnostic overshadowing. And it's basically something that doctors will assume a symptom is based off an individual's disability alone and not really listen to what their patient is trying to say. And so for my practicum, it's as a health messenger and SSIGM, it's my hope to educate doctors on how to better treat their patients that have IDD. I'm hoping to break the barrier and help them have a better understanding in the hopes that they will be trained, more prepared, and make relationships with us. I mean, that's the best way to go about it.
Awesome.
That's what inclusive health means to me. In short, it means that you are being heard, you're being listened to and taken seriously.
Awesome. And Renee, Hanna, what is inclusive health mean to you?
Of course. So as a health messenger, just like Renee, it means that we are our own advocates to speak for our own health issues, and that you doctors will provide the resources that we need, because that's very important for inclusive health. And to the fact that we can speak for ourselves. We don't have to ask our parents to do the speaking for us. We have voices. Why not share it? Why not, take the initiative of being serious about health issues and ask the doctors ourselves our own questions.
Awesome. And what does inclusive health mean to me? It means that as health messengers, as leaders, we can motivate each other to live healthier lives, that we can really make a internal pledge to ourselves, and that we can really be able to better communicate with doctors and healthcare professionals, and better communicate with ourselves and our families and friends, and ourselves with how to live a healthier life, from physically to mentally and everything in between. So that's what inclusive health means to me. It means to all of us. We have just a few minutes left. We'll get to some really brief final thoughts of Hanna, and we'll go, Renee, just some brief final thoughts on this podcast today.
Absolutely. I am actually so thrilled to be here on this podcast with you, Hanna and Daniel. This is our third podcast together, and I'm just so enjoy it and so honored that you are including me.
Awesome.
And hope to encourage our fellow athletes to stay active, keep moving, whether or not we're in the middle of a pandemic. Like Hanna said, it's your body, and we should challenge ourselves. So keep moving, guys. Mahalo.
Yeah, awesome. Keep moving. And Hanna, your final thoughts?
Sure. Thank you for letting me take part in this episode. Please check out our SONA Move Challenge vlogs. Be kind to yourself and be kind to each other, because that is very important to remember. Is treat yourself well, and when you do that, you treat everybody well.
Awesome. And my final thoughts is just to really echo what both Hanna, you, and Renee, also what you said as well. And it's been a joy always to have you guys on. And if there's any other topics in the future that we could share with our athletes, share with our global audience of listeners, we're more than welcome to come back on this podcast as we talk about our lives and really talk about what's important to our lives, and that people can really choose to include, and choose to include inclusive health, and really how we can all how people can better accept and understand us. And that's the goal of this podcast and this whole network on SpecialChronicles.com. We are pretty much out of time, the hour of this, but we'll get to some brief plugs. If you listeners want to connect with, the SOHI program, sohawaii.org is where you can go to connect with the program that Renee is part of and staff member with and a part of SO Hawaii. If you want to connect, if you're in Colorado, make sure to get involved. SpecialOlympicsCO.org, Special Olympics Colorado. Get involved in your local program there. Become an athlete, coach, volunteer, sponsor, athlete, unified partner. And if you are in Illinois, in my home state, SOIRL.org is where you can get involved and become an athlete, coach, volunteer, sponsor, unified partner, coach. And one thing I did forget to mention is I think Renee, you mentioned about virtual programs. Maybe Hanna, you mentioned. I think, yeah, you mentioned about virtual programs.
Yes, I did.
Well, also in Illinois, my program had virtual programs as well. If people want to hear more about the virtual programs, my mentor Chris and I did an hour and a half podcast episode talking all about the virtual programs in Special Olympics Illinois. So go back in the archives of this show, the Special Chronicles Show. Just go to SpecialChronicles.com and search for virtual programs, and you can find that episode that Chris and I did a few months ago, and to hear more about virtual programs. With that, we want to remind you, we'll put links in the show notes, SpecialChronicles.com/podcast438. If you want to find links to read our blogs on SONorthamerica.medium.com. And if you want to connect with us personally, you can find me what I'm doing when I'm not behind the microphone at PodmanDan, at PodmanDan at PodmanDan on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. Renee, I think they can find you on LinkedIn and Facebook as well. And Hanna, you on
Yes.
Your website? Yeah.
So they can find me on my website, wholeheartedlyhanna.com. Once again, that's wholeheartedlyhanna.com. And you can also follow me for Cooking Health with Hanna videos. Also on Special Olympic Colorado Facebook. My social media is through Special Olympics of Colorado. So follow them, subscribe to Cooking Health with Hanna. And if you want to contact me, contact wholeheartedlyhanna.com. And there's my email in that as well. That'll be also in the show notes below as well. So
yeah, we'll put the link in the show notes, wholeheartedlyhanna.com, and Renee, LinkedIn, Facebook.
You can follow me. You can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and my email. And that will be in the show notes.
Awesome. We will. I think I forgot to put a link, but I'll have to. I will remember to put all those links back in the show notes. SpecialChronicles.com is where you all can go. And look forward to talking to you again, and hopefully maybe someday we can do this podcast in person. Just want to remind all of you listening, the Special Chronicles Show is I'm trying to find the button to press here. The Special Chronicles Show is presented by the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. Learn more about the nation's first energy efficiency education program designed by people with disabilities, including video resources and original podcast series and external resource links. SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd. Again, that's SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd. And to help us fund our weekly podcasts and live stream shows, On Special Chronicles, we can continue to tell empowering stories behind the microphone to further our mission and vision, give respect and voice to people with special needs. Please join our community of supporters and make a gift today, SpecialChronicles.com/give. Once again, SpecialChronicles.com/give. And also, while you're on SpecialChronicles.com, you can, that's where you can go to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Please also, and YouTube as well, subscribe to our newsletter. We have about 124 of you that are subscribers on our mailing list. But if you want to get more updates, go to SpecialChronicles.com. You'll get an exclusive video with my local Special Illinois President and CEO, Dave Green. We talked about unified leadership, so you can get a video interview, exclusive access to that if you subscribe to our newsletter. So SpecialChronicles.com is where you can go. And it's been a joy having you all both on, Renee and Hanna, and looking forward to having you on again.
Thank you so much, Daniel. This was so much fun.
Yes.
And I hope we can all stay connected.
Yeah, I hope we all can stay connected. And did you want to say anything, Hanna?
I was going to say thank you as well, Daniel, as always. And hopefully you guys will, like our blogs and just try to contact us like on what Daniel mentioned for Special Chronicles, and as my business of wholeheartedlyhanna.com and Cook and Health with Hanna videos. If you guys want to watch the playlist, that's also provided through Special Olympics of Colorado. That is actually sponsored by Special Olympics of Colorado. So if you want to see that too, you can definitely be on Facebook and like that and comment if you like. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can.
And if you would go to SpecialChronicles.com and scroll down on the homepage, there's a link to your cooking videos. And I think, Renee, we might have some to the cooking videos that you did as well.
Absolutely. You can find those videos on my Facebook page from So High, or you can look them up on our So High, our So Fit Facebook page. And I forget what the name is, but
yeah, we'll try to remember to put links to all that in the show notes, and I think, and even on SpecialChronicles.com on the homepage, people can go and click on links to Hanna, you and Renee, both of you, each of your cooking videos. So until then, we will see you all next week, and next week on another episode of the Special Chronicles Show. Until then, we hope you all will stay safe, stay healthy, and remember to choose to include inclusive health. So choose inclusive health. I think that's what we're going to end the show with, right? Choose inclusive health, something like that. Choose inclusive health. Choose inclusive health.
Choose to include inclusive
health. Keep moving, you guys. Keep moving. Yeah. You can find my cooking videos on the Special Olympics website, SpecialOlympicsHawaii.rr.com.
Awesome. So we'll make sure.
www.SpecialOlympics@Hawaii.com.
Awesome. So we'll make sure to include those links. And until next time, choose inclusive health. We'll see you next week. Special Chronicles on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Special Newsletter, and all the podcasts. SpecialChronicles.com. And this is the show podcast for friends, family, out the school audience. Downloads of audio podcasts and over 20,000 average monthly listeners. SpecialChronicles.com.
Special Chronicles. Giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.